Well, I think there's an interesting thing that just came out and just hit me. My wife is much more like Karen.
Mm-hmm.
She is. She's very soft. She's very compassionate. She doesn't want to hurt people.
Until she has to be tough.
It's been hard for her to learn to be tough.
Yeah.
It hasn't been easy for her. She had a very domineering grandmother.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're talking about she makes me look soft type grandmother.
Uh-huh.
So that has influenced, and her mother was overpowered by her own mother. My wife's mother was overpowered by my wife's grandmother. So I'm seeing, you just helped me to see a little more insight here. My wife is in that category. She's soft, she's compassionate. She always is looking at the good thing. She wants to find the positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will admit, I tend to see the negative.
I've been accused of that same thing.
Well,
but that part I think isn't necessarily a remedy thing, is it?
It's a personality thing.
No, well, what part exactly? The soft, the
seeing the positive or the negative.
Yeah, that's a long discussion. That's a long.
Well,
you could be.
But
I think
my
you
point
can be.
is this: she and I now are learning from each other, and this has been just in the last few years. I am moving more towards her philosophy, her softer personality, and she is getting tougher. And this last year and a half, taking care of her mother and having to make the decisions she's had to make has been very, very hard on her, because she has had to make hard decisions and say, Mom, this is how it is. This is how it will be. It's not easy for her. It's contrary to her very basic personality.
But maybe in some situations it's better to have her softness there than maybe
definitely, without any question.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing. I'm saying, that's why I'm saying I've learned a lot from her.
Did she always just accept your being the dominant?
Oh yeah.
Very harsh?
Oh yeah.
She always accepted
She did
that?
until that serious thing came out in the family, and that was about 25 years ago. Yeah.
Did that hurt your feelings? That she
No, because my reaction was I withdrew.
Oh, so she
So
really had to.
step forward. She had to step forward, and in both cases it's turned out to be positive in the long run.
helped you grow.
But it was extraordinarily painful. It was the most painful experience in my life, other than my childhood. My dad was a dominant person too. So, sometimes the pain is the only way we grow, it seems like, which is unfortunate.
But just the fact that you are willing to sit here and talk even about that, just talk about the experience and how you got to that point, I think that speaks volumes. You're not a harsh person at all.
Well, I have tended to be a very emotional person at times. I'll watch TV and cry.
Yeah. Well, and so will I.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I'm saying is that
there's some movies that I won't.
You said you don't as often, Nancy?
I can, but it's not as...
Not as often.
I think
interesting.
you almost have to be on the extremes, really, to end up with that kind of thing.
How interesting is that? Because Ken's remedy is more intense than Nancy's in the middle, and yet Ken said that you can cry watching movies.
Oh yeah, or any TV program,
more easily.
I have to qualify that.
Yeah.
I can't watch a war movie. I mean, I just won't watch them.
No.
So
But for me, it would be more a love story. Okay. I don't know if any of you ever watch movies on the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah.
And I'll cry.
Yeah.
I happen to think Hallmark does a very good job.
It probably touches a point because it's always about family and always about children and all that kind of stuff, and it probably touches a note that will always,
from either my childhood or as an adult raising my own children.
Right.
It brings out something, and so I feel it.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that. Thank you for that. I've been trying to figure out, what is this?
Yeah.
And that is, I think, at least partially the case, if not, predominantly the case.
Yeah.
So
with me, it's animals. Anything
Yeah.
that has to do with an animal losing an animal or an animal being hurt or I just lose it.
Like what
I am
happens?
sobbing.
You sob.
sobbing.
I
Yes.
don't go that far. But
You don't go that
I-
far.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I can't stand that. Now I will get very emotional watching a like a Hallmark movie or a Lifetime movie, something like that, if it's about like losing when it comes to kids or losing a parent or something like that. But I think that's more because, see, I'm adopted.
Oh,
So I feel
okay.
like I missed out on a lot of stuff that I should have, I feel I'm entitled to. And I'm a little ticked off that I didn't get that daddy's little girl stuff and the mother that was, you know, the nurturer, all that kind of stuff. But it's not like with the animals.
Yeah.
Oh, I just,
Probably because animals are helpless.
absolutely,
And loving,
yeah.
they just
yeah.
give love and-
See, you'll get me crying right now.
Well, in that regard, I react to injustice
Yeah,
Yeah.
the same way. It will infuriate me.
yeah.
And injustice doesn't have to be just to other humans. If somebody mistreating an animal, and I was raised with them,
Yep.
so I was raised with dogs and cats, and we always had animals at our home.
Yep.
So to me, you don't mistreat animals or children
That's right.
or other people.
That's right.
You know, if it's injustice, it's injustice. End of story. Wrong. So yes, I understand what you mean there. But again, it's that strong personality coming out. I react then strongly.
Yeah.
And so when I'll be watching a program on TV, and if I see that it's going to be a program dealing with a lot of serious injustice, I change the channel.
Yeah.
I will not
and that's
watch
what
it.
I've, yeah.
But
that's
what happens if you continue to watch it?
It makes me very upset. It
How
will-
angry?
Angry. It'll interfere with sleep. It
Yep.
makes it more difficult to go to sleep because I'm emotionally involved.
Yep.
And
Interactions with other people. Now I'm
Exact-
cranky. Now I'm cranky. Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I have. Right now, it doesn't matter. I'm alone. But with my wife, I had to consciously say, "No, don't do it."
Yep.
And there's another thing you'll notice: my hands never stop moving. I would have made a good, you know. I've always said I should have been born in Italy or Mexico. But that's the thing. It's the intensity. And I
the
tend to go one way or the
injustice
other.
Yeah.
For me, there's a very difficult to hit that. I admire the middle ground.
Yeah. Me
Nancy's
too. Me
the middle
too.
ground.
We all want to be in Nancy's.
And I have to say, there are times when I do cry in movies. Back to that one.
Yeah.
That it's more if like I get involved in the movie and then someone dies.
Oh yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's not maybe as quickly as maybe you can. You know, it's got to be something. It takes maybe a little bit more.
And for me,
for
it can be
to-
very quick. And when it is, I just change the channel. Get out of there. Unless it's, again, a Hallmark, when I know that they're working towards a good result,
Yeah.
I can then follow it and follow through on it
Yeah.
and enjoy the whole movie. So, and also, I'm politically very conservative, so if I see them getting very liberal in their attitude, I will change the channel. Because that makes me upset. I don't appreciate that. I tend to react that way. I tend to react very, very distinctly, rather than sitting back and just, oh, okay.